There was this one ice skating move where like they were worried about people's heads getting chopped off.
Well, that's normal. That's every ice skating.
They made a movie about it. Blades of Glory. Will Ferrell.
Caitlin Ohash. Guys, most dominant. John Heater. Huh?
Who?
He was in Blades of Glory with Will Ferrell. Napoleon Dynamite.
Gotcha. Yeah, you're right.
How did we say most dominant athletes and we didn't bring up Uncle Rico? The man could throw a football over the mountains.
Dude.
He's even got his own hype
We
tape.
have to readdress the athlete thing, man. Like,
most dominant
Why don't
celebrity
y'all
athlete.
just have
Number
an
one,
episode?
Aaron.
Nacho.
Y'all can do an extra episode.
You and me, we're gonna have a
sports podcast
where we just yell at each other about stuff.
You just do an extra
That's what it
episode.
should be called. Yelling at each other about sports stuff. Brought to you by...
Aaron, you're an idiot, man. What are you talking about?
What?
Joel Embiid sucks.
And I'll be there.
Oh,
but
we
I'll
can
just-
have that discussion too, because I'm with you. I actually think he should be traded.
Yeah, you should. Yeah. Anyway, see, there we go.
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
See?
And I'll be there. I'll just be producer Matthew.
Producer Matthew.
And Matt's in the room drinking tea.
And Matt is washing the baseboards currently in the office. Hey, hipsters, it's getting warmer outside, so you know what that means? It's shaved ice time. Paradise Hawaiian Shaved Ice in Suwanee, Georgia has partnered with us to give our listeners a 15% off code to use when they visit. Use the code SHOOT from the hip for 15% off of your total. Try it today at 2855 Lawrenceville Suwanee Road in Suwanee, Georgia. Again, it's Paradise Hawaiian Shaved Ice in Suwanee, Georgia. Use the code SHOOT from the hip for 15% off your total today.
Welcome back. So let's.
Welcome back. That was the weirdest intro ever.
That's
Welcome back.
That's the 11:45 intro. We're doing this a little
man.
bit later than we normally do it.
Burning the midnight oil.
Yeah.
And I have to drive home after this. But
Me too.
Jerk.
I literally live 1 minute away from the studio.
Yeah.
Right.
If that.
Yep.
If a minute.
We basically live.
I can walk to my
house. We basically do this out of your house, out of your
Basically,
backyard.
Pretty much.
But I still drive.
Yep. On your four-wheeler.
Yeah, you rode a four-wheeler.
I did
here
ride a
last week,
four-wheeler
yeah.
here and felt amazing. So
So let me just start off by once again reminding you guys that if you like our Facebook page, go ahead and take a screenshot of that and direct message it to our Facebook page.
And Matt will send you $50.
No, I won't.
Heard it here first.
But,
Matt doesn't care about followers.
but also, when you direct message that image,
We love you. Matt doesn't.
when you direct message
Podcast
us,
curmudgeon.
oh, you shut up. when you when you direct message us that image, go ahead and direct message us. Make sure it's in a direct message, not in a post. Your address.
How many times are we going to use the word direct message in this sentence?
I'll use it a couple more times.
If you direct message us a direct message, we will directly message you with a direct message from us.
So give us your address, and we will mail you a
Shut up, producer
personalized. You guys shut up for a second.
Matt's going postal. That's what this is called. Episode 14, Matt
Hey,
goes postal.
speaking of postal, we're going to send you
We're going to
postage.
send you a postal card.
Yeah, why doesn't Lancer just do this? Go ahead, man.
All right. So, yeah, just send us a direct message showing that you liked our page, and we will send you an autographed postcard with our autographs signed by us with our names and a handwritten message.
Anyways, let's jump into this episode. Let's cut everybody off here.
Gracious.
Where are we even starting on this? I'm not gonna lie, we're shooting from the hip on this one.
So
man.
we wanted to address something in this episode, and that's a particular fire that happened recently, and that's the Notre Dame fire. If you didn't hear about it, Notre Dame burned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To summarize, it's gone.
Not
Mostly.
Thankfully, a lot of the art, the iconic art was saved and stuff like that. Some of it I don't care about that much. Maybe that's bad of me. I'm gonna take some flack for that.
This is. I'm gonna take some flack too. When I saw the headline flash up, I was like, "Oh man, that's terrible." Where is that again?
That's bad.
Yeah, I didn't know
Pretty bad.
I didn't know what country it was in. Honestly,
I didn't know. I didn't either.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I'm not really into the architecture scene and the art
Yeah.
scene, so it wasn't that big of a deal to me.
See, I thought it kind of hit
Not that
me
the
a little
fire
bit.
wasn't a big deal, but like the Notre Dame Cathedral.
Yeah.
If you would say Notre Dame Cathedral, where is it? Oh, it would be embarrassing because I wouldn't have known
Yeah,
until I
right.
looked it up.
That's pretty bad.
Producer Blake did not know either.
Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland.
No.
Yeah, if it was in Cleveland, nobody would have cared.
No, but for me, like I saw it, I assumed that it was going to be like totally destroyed,
Right.
and so my thought was,
That thing was raging, man. The
Yeah.
fire was going.
yeah, and so my thought was like, it's kind of a big point in history to be like Notre Dame burned down in 2019. I mean, that would have been kind of a big story, a news story, even if it wasn't like malicious or whatever, which it wasn't. It just seemed like a big news story, but they saved a lot of it, and they'll rebuild all of it, and
Right.
it'll be 100% fine.
I think
And-
they've already raised the money for it.
yeah, they were like France's $2
I saw
billionaires.
Disney like gave $5 million.
Really?
Yeah.
There were two billionaires that were bidding against each other to give the most.
So charitable.
Yeah, and it was,
My charity will outdo your charity.
but what I think is kind of funny is that France is like, we have 2 billionaires.
Yes, all two of them.
But they
America.
raised like over $100 million to give toward it. So I mean, like it's gonna get
Yeah.
rebuilt quite easily.
Yeah.
And probably fairly quickly too. Well, probably within the next 5 years.
So on the topic of fire, though, and
Yeah.
that to segue in, we wanted to discuss, some notable fires in history, and so not like the most lighthearted thing, but a little more historical, a little more
Yeah.
factual, and
Yeah.
maybe there's some myth and mystique surrounding the way that these fires came to be, or maybe people don't even know about them, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
So, anyways, wanted to jump into that. Matt, why don't you kick off on this?
Yeah, because I stole yours.
Because you basically stole mine.
Yeah, I'm sorry. about
Because this is how it works. We have this conference call that we rarely have because generally my schedule never works with anybody else.
that. And I was
and-
complaining about not having it too.
Matt was complaining about not having it, so we have it, and then Matt basically didn't listen the whole
Yeah.
time he was on there.
That's about right.
And so, anyways, that's how it's gonna go. So
Yeah,
Matt stole
there were
mine.
like two big things where I just like totally
he
blanked
told
out on this.
like we'll just say the Wi-Fi dropped.
yeah, that's what happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was having issues, but that wasn't the
Yeah,
problem.
you
All right.
always have issues, but go ahead.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so first up, I had Chicago Fire,
Yeah,
and the Chicago Fire.
is that what people think about? Not to cut you. Is that what people think about when you think notable fires of history?
Chicago Fire?
Is that like the first thing you think about?
Like that's the only other one that I've heard like real stories of.
See, I think of the London Fire.
Yeah.
Okay,
The Chicago
yeah, that's- yeah,
Fire
true.
comes to mind because America.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I think of London bridges falling down, so I always think of that.
I'm glad
So-
you do.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't
Makes
know.
sense.
I quit
that's
caring.
me.
I quit caring about Britain in 1776.
Nice. All right. Well, this happened before that, so
All right.
deal with it. All right. So anyway,
Wait, the Chicago Fire happened before
no,
then?
no, the Chicago Fire didn't. The
Thank
London
you.
Fire did. All right. So the Chicago Fire, it killed more than 250 people and left like 100,000 people homeless.
Yep.
Which is
Pretty
pretty.
serious.
Which I noticed something with a lot of these fires is most of the issue is a lot of homeless people afterwards.
Right.
It's there's loss of life, and that's pretty big. But there's a lot of homeless
And
people
not
that
just
come out of it.
people, families.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's not just, hey, man, sorry for your loss. There's a dude on the street. You're
Yeah.
talking wife, kids, little kids, babies.
Yeah.
No place to live.
So the thing that I thought was I guess comical about it was the legend that's behind it
Yes.
on why it started, and it's assumed, which there's no proof of it, but it's assumed that it was Mrs. O'Leary's cow that kicked over a lamp
Yep.
and set a barn on fire, and the whole city burned. Like that's nuts.
Yes, it is. It's insane that that's the origin of it.
Yeah.
And that's how simple it is.
Mhm.
But I think if I'm not mistaken, and correct me since you did all the research on my topic, I think somebody like said, "Hey, by the way, there's a barn on fire over there," and like that kind of led her to thinking this must have been the only recourse.
Yeah.
Is that the cow? She didn't witness it,
Right.
but it was like this is probably what happened. So it's still not 100% validated, but I think Mrs. O'Leary herself kind of put the pieces
It's
together.
really hard to track that down.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
Because kind of most of the evidence is gone.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if like it was your fault that the entire city of Chicago burned? I mean, it wasn't really her fault per se, except that she left the lamp, I guess. But it's like that was my cow that burned down the entire city.
That's quite a heavy burden to bear for the rest of your life. That
You could have been like, well, I was going to sacrifice that cow anyway. I was a burnt offering, so.
Right. And all,
The thing was dumb.
and all those 200 plus people, too.
I was gonna say that.
That's
That's a
not
little
much
grim.
consolation, is it? No, but I mean, seriously though, it was a devastating fire, and I think there was like something like 17,000 buildings destroyed
It was $200 million in damages. Well, it's
at
estimated.
the time.
Yeah.
200 million,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which that was when 1800s, 1870s.
Something like that.
So
A lot
translate
more
200
today.
million into what that economy, what it is now. Holy smokes,
Yeah.
that is a lot.
So so this was like 1870s, as you said, right?
Yeah.
So there was probably no like fire hydrants running. How would they have put it out?
They have these buckets.
Yeah, I mean exactly. So like
I mean,
no
bucket
Well,
wonder,
literally,
brigades were a
they're
like
they're
no wonder it went out of
they would have had
control.
like fire wagons basically
Yes.
because it was
Yeah.
horse and buggy.
Right.
So it was like pump style, two guys on like a big pump sort of thing.
Okay.
And they'd have a reservoir tank,
Yep.
and they had fire hoses.
Yep.
But two guys, like I don't know, maybe even four guys,
Mm-hmm.
two on one side, two on the other. They would literally sit there and pump the thing up and down, and it would work as like a hydrant, where
Okay.
you had to like pump the hydrant and prime it to get the water out. It would work like that. So
So
exhausting, and you couldn't
exhausting.
put a fire out.
yeah, it would
with
have to be
any
a small
efficiency.
fire.
Yeah.
Right. No fire hydrants, water, or I don't know if they were using some sort of powdered chemical, but I doubt it.
Well, not to
Yeah.
get too technical or anything, but with like fire hydrants now, you have to have like a minimum PSI going to them,
Mhm.
and I think a lot of times for fire lines, you want to push like 60 PSI.
Is this what you do for your work?
Yeah,
Like-
just a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
So like when you're dealing with like pumping it by hand and you're doing it out of like a tank on a wagon,
Insanely hard.
you're not getting that kind of pressure.
Right. It only goes so far. Like
Yeah.
you can't go up like what 3 stories on a building or something.
I
with
would
that.
You're
imagine
basically
not, yeah.
praying for it to rain really hard.
Right.
Because,
Yeah.
like, how else are you going to
I mean, honestly, it had to stop because it ran out of city. Like
You're
Yeah.
probably right. A lot
I
of it
mean-
is Chicago's right on Lake Michigan, so part of it is it probably just ran.
Right.
Yeah.
It has to
lake.
hit some sort of fire break.
Right.
And generally that's water or
Yeah.
just a clearing.
It was a devastating fire. I'm actually like looking at something now. They're saying it took out 2,000 acres or 17,000 buildings across 2,000 acres.
Yeah.
So this thing was raging. Can you imagine the air quality for however many years to come afterwards? Like, just
yeah.
the smoke
Yeah.
inhalation, the stuff that people had to deal
Right.
with from that.
You know,
It was devastating.
it's interesting, and sorry, I'm going off a little bit, but there were some fires that went on in the mountains, and a buddy of mine went up, and he was helping straw some of the mountains
Yeah.
in order to get some undergrowth to grow, so that you wouldn't have any slough off. And he was saying that the dangerous thing was that you're walking through a bunch of ash, and you have stumps that burned, and so the stumps burn down into the ground. And you have these pits that are just filled with hot, like coals and ash, and you can't see them because there's too much ash on top. So if you step where a stump is,
You're
like
gonna fall into
a
like a
big tree,
barbecue pit.
you're dropping yourself in
Man.
a barbecue pit.
That's terrible.
That's
Yeah.
awful.
So moving along, since Matt took my topic, I've
you're
picked up a different one, and that would be the one that Matt is so fond of, him and his British roots, and that would be the Great London Fire of I think it was 1666, and so
Go figure. 666.
Oh, wow.
666.
Creepy.
The word is that it spread from a baker's shop, and the name of the place where the baker's shop was Pudding Lane.
Okay.
And that's kind of ironic, but
Too bad they didn't put it out.
Oh, putting
that is
out
just a
the
bad
fire.
joke, people.
Putting
There's
it
there's
out, yeah.
nothing else to say other than
great
that was
joke.
just a
It was a
bad joke.
great joke.
Oh man. Anyways, this fire went for 5 days. That's a long time.
Yeah.
And it went throughout the streets. They are saying that they think the fire is estimated that it was like 1,200 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
Like That's
If
hard.
I-
That's hard to quantify how hot that is.
which it damaged the London Bridge.
Yep.
Badly enough to be decommissioned for a long time.
Yes.
It was partly usable or something.
They're
like
saying
that?
it consumed over 13,000 homes.
Yeah.
87 parish churches and St. Paul's Cathedral was completely lost.
Man.
So most of the buildings of London were burned in this.
Mm-hmm.
And the rebuilding value would have been in the billions and billions today.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it just
It's such a highly populated area.
incredible. I mean, you think about 13,000 people in
Mm-hmm.
London
Yeah.
ousted.
Yeah.
And, there's no death toll that I can see on here, although I
think I
assume that there
saw
were some
something,
death.
and I might be wrong on this, but I think I saw something where like 3,000 people died alone at the London Bridge.
Really? Okay. That's
And
a lot.
which is a lot of people.
That's 9/11.
Yeah. And that's incredible right there.
That's insane.
But yeah, the rebuilding of London Bridge was like a huge thing, and I kind of Sherlock Holmes kind of highlights that a little bit with the newer movies, with that whole
Yeah, he hangs the
rebuilding
dude
of it.
like
Yeah.
right there. So, anyways, it was a devastating fire. It's not like it's the biggest fire because I mean, there's been some wildfires that took out like millions of acres of land that haven't been able to be stopped.
Yeah. Maybe we
I
can
think-
talk about
I think it was-
California for a little bit.
California, I think actually it was either last year or I think it was last year that there were 12 Arizona hotshots. I think it was 12 firefighters. They were the hotshots. They were fighting a forest fire and I forget the term, but basically they got surrounded
Yeah.
and they all died.
Yeah.
12 young, strapping, healthy dudes
Yeah.
with families died on a mountain.
Wow.
Trying to fight it. So it's a devastating thing. Fire's incredibly devastating. But to it be in an urban environment like Chicago or London, and you're talking 13 to 17,000 buildings destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it destroyed 13 buildings, like that's a lot.
Yeah.
Well,
13,000 buildings.
that's a lot. Yeah.
It's insane.
Well, and the tricky thing, I mean, I'm no firefighter, but the tricky thing about it is it grows exponentially and it gets out of hand really quick, which is why like Chicago, London, all these
Especially-
wildfires just get out of control.
When everything is so tight.
Everything's close. Yep.
Yeah. It's,
So-
it's
Exactly.
nuts. All right,
So,
what you got,
so
Lancer?
a little bit of a different path, but there's the city of Pompeii in Italy. This was it wasn't necessarily caught on fire, but a volcano eruption
It burned.
destroyed it. Yeah, it burned up, and it was discovered under about 20 feet of ash by archaeologists and such. But Pompeii was there's a lot of history that was discovered when they pulled that up. And that's what made me think about Pompeii with this Notre Dame fires, all the history, the art. That's what everyone was really upset about. I don't believe no one got hurt or died in this fire with the Notre Dame.
No, yeah. I was going to say
yeah.
Pompeii.
no, in Notre Dame. But
Yeah.
like Pompeii, lots of people died.
Yeah.
Lots of history was, thought to be lost.
Right.
And luckily a lot of it was able to get recovered. And actually, it's pretty like gruesome if you think about it, because you see like people who just were laying in bed and
Right.
like they just pulled up their bones and they're still in their bed in their home or something like that,
Yeah.
which is really kind of like ominous to come across.
Some of those volcano eruptions are nuts, like Krakatoa.
Mm-hmm.
What was that, 100 miles away? Or was it more than that? I can't remember how.
Which one was Krakatoa?
Krakatoa was a huge, like, megaton explosion that could be felt, like, halfway around the world.
Where was that? erupted?
Geographically,
Yeah.
where's it located?
where-
Where's it located? I don't remember right off the top of my
Krakatoa.
head. It's like one of, like, the largest,
Aaron's on the keyboard looking at it.
just, like, air effect
Right.
volcano explosions.
Yeah. Some of those explosions, man, they send ash thousands of miles away.
yeah.
They get caught up in the wind jet stream and all.
Yeah.
They can be seriously devastating.
It's incredible. But yeah,
The
Pompeii
Dutch
was
East Indies.
Dutch East Indies. Okay.
Yeah. Where's that at? Indonesia area.
Let's pull out our
Indonesia
Okay.
area.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Southwest Asia down in the lower Pacific, I guess that would be.
Yeah, kind of like Marshall Islands.
Yeah, it says
area.
Dutch East Indies, which is now Indonesia. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. But
That wasn't that long ago.
Krakatoa.
1883.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Right. But no, Pompeii was just devastating because of the population that was so close to it.
And the I guess the lack of preparedness, like there is no advance warning on
Right.
this. It's not like they had the scientific instruments to measure everything that we have today.
Right.
So it was just all of a sudden it's upon you and there was
Yeah.
no time to react.
Right.
And it's like there's two types of like volcanic reactions. There's ones where the lava comes out and flows out and oozes out, and then
Right.
there's just straight up explosions.
Yes.
And I think Pompeii was just one of those explosions.
Right.
And it was just crazy.
That's the thing. You can't. It's not like you can detect that pressure on the surface very easily.
Right.
And so, like when you have like that oozing, that's not as bad. It's
Yeah.
easier to run away from.
Right. You have a chance to get away.
Your stuff gets trashed,
Mhm.
but you don't just explode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and that's where Krakatoa just like totally exploded.
Right, yeah. So I mean volcanoes are scary in a way to me.
Yeah.
Just because there's so much unknown. It feels almost like one of those things that we know can happen, but we're like, is this really, I've never like kind of seen one happen, but even like Mount St. Helens, just the devastation
Yeah.
from Mount St. Helens alone.
Yep.
Any, smaller volcanoes. It's kind of interesting that
Yellowstone could blow any time,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yellowstone.
we're on the topic of volcanoes because Yellowstone is actually, I believe, a super volcano.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think we're in danger of it blowing, but it's one of those things where it's like, people
Well-
can say that, but there's really nothing that can solidify that other than it's just a gut feeling and opinion.
Right.
According to the timeline of all these people who study volcanoes,
Yeah, they say it could happen.
they say it's overdue.
Yeah.
So
They say it's overdue. And if that were to go, like if it were to actually go, I forget the fallout, but basically all the way to the Atlantic Ocean, you'd have ash fallout from it.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, I mean, you think Wyoming, that's a long way away. It's
Yep.
probably
Yeah.
more than 27, 28 driving hours
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
the East Coast.
If you, I remember I looked it up at one point. It was something like about 100-mile radius from there. If you're within that, you're just dead.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have a chance. It's
Yeah.
done.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
it's insane.
Yeah.
And
So-
it kind of depends on how it blows, I guess, but still.
hmm
Yeah.
They made a pretty good movie about it. I think it's called Super Volcano, and it's actually pretty legit.
Yeah.
So
Does it like kind of replicate what it would be like? or-
yeah, it's about like it's these scientists just looking at it, and all these tremors are going on, and they think it's kind of weird.
Sure, it's not
And-
called like the day after tomorrow. or
No,
something.
that's not that one. No, but it basically erupts, and
Yeah.
these guys are trying to escape and survive. Is
Yeah.
what happens. It's kind of like a what would happen if it erupted today kind
Yeah.
of movie. It's really good, really informational.
Nice.
So and done well.
Nice.
Feels like a catastrophic event that one person might have to plan for.
Oh wow.
Maybe that's a tease. Maybe it's not.
Maybe.
Let's move into topic number 2 today. Did we exhaust? Did we finish and exhaust the fire?
I'm
segment?
exhausted. Is that
Yeah.
what you're...
The fire thing was kind of a heavy thing. We don't usually
yeah,
do
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
But
So-
we
it's a
felt
little
like in
serious.
lieu of the event, it was
Yeah.
worth bringing up and at
Yeah.
least discussing, a couple of these fires and
Right.
the magnitude and the devastation it can have.
And like
but-
actually educate our listeners on something maybe a
Well,
little
and
bit.
educate ourselves
on
on
ourselves.
something.
Be smarter today.
And it's good that no one was, injured in that. We have the opportunity to talk about it a little bit more loosely because
Right.
nobody died in it.
Right.
Now, I thought it was funny how some people were like, you can't tell jokes about it. Like, people were, like, way too serious about it.
Yeah, like
Agreed.
hey, okay, some like really nice drawings got burned up. Sorry. Like
Yeah,
I mean, come
nobody
on,
nobody
know?
died or that I know of was injured, but it was funny. I saw somebody
Some iconic art was damaged, like I
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
And I can feel that a little bit, but, well, I guess, one, I don't have a religious connection to this building. Some people do.
Yeah.
Okay, but I don't know.
I mean, like when
It's
it really
still a building.
when it really comes down to it, no one got hurt.
Yeah.
No one got killed. The really nice art is burned, but what was more important? Like
it wasn't
it-
even the full
yeah.
building destroyed.
No.
Yeah. So
I mean, it was like the roof and the spire on it,
Mm-hmm.
and there's like a like a top portion, a wing of it was destroyed, but
Yeah.
a
lot of the stonework's
a
fine.
lot of it's still intact.
Mm-hmm.
you,
So
you know what? My life has changed zero since that happened. And that might sound kind of cold, but
I saw
you know,
something funny where Disney had, they had donated like $5 million towards the rebuild, and someone was like, "Are they going to put Disney princesses in the stained glass when they rebuild it?" And I was like, "That'd be pretty awesome."
That'd be hilarious.
But anyways, feels like a time for a little woke
little
poetry.
little poetry time. Yeah.
Oh man, we need some poetry music.
Oh wait, let me
touch our
see.
We need some zen. We need
feelings
some zen music or something like that.
You
I
know
don't
what?
if we
I
even
could
got
play.
any
I could
zen
play our outro music. You think that would work?
That's a little softly. That's probably a little
Yeah,
woke poetry. Yes.
Let's play it.
So we can work that up. There we go. And this is this is a soothing way to read.
It
poetry.
feels like we're ending the podcast. So
It does.
it's
We're
like
not
This
leaving
is
the
a tease.
podcast.
This is a tease. It's not really happening. Stay with us.
Yeah.
All right. So who's going first on this? Because I think we all have a poem this time.
I think so.
And I think last time I introduced woke poetry, I was the only one with a poem.
You were.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to go last and hear everyone else's poem this
Okay.
time.
That's cool.
Okay.
So, Lancer, I've been looking forward to your poem.
Yeah, yeah.
Why don't you kick us off?
All right, I'll start us off. This one I call I can't even talk. Toxic masculinity. And by the way, just to explain this, these are just topics that we write poems on.
They're woke.
We want you to be woke.
That's
and
right.
we want to give it to you in a
We're expressing our wokeness.
Yeah, our wokeness right here. So here is the poem written by Lancer Smith, Toxic Masculinity.
What a masculine name.
Here we go. I met a man the other day while walking down the road. He carried himself in a certain way that made me furious, and I just had to unload. "Who do you think you are?" I yelled with a shout, "wearing your shirt with a muscle car. What's that all about? You probably wear white tennis shoes and grill out on Saturdays, hoping your football team won't lose, reminiscing and talking about the good old days. Back when men were tough and they would fight, while you oppressed women both day and night. I'm sick of you men and your tough guy mentality. You are the epitome of toxic masculinity.
The epitome.
Go on, you gross man in your muscle car shirt. Out of my sight, I had to blurt." He gazed at me in dismay with a confused look in his eye. "How dare you assume my gender? I am not a guy.
Ooh.
My name is Henrietta, and now I am offended." I then walked away because that did not go as I intended.
Oh, I like it. I like it. Holy cow.
Just that slight asterisk of epitome.
The epitome.
Epitome.
The epitome. Drop epitome on somebody and see how they
Yeah,
react.
yeah.
Never know.
It's
That
one
was
of those
good.
words.
That
Thanks,
was
man.
good. That was
You know,
good.
poetry is a lot harder than it sounds. If you are like, whatever, try writing poetry, man. It makes you rack your brain a little bit.
Good gracious,
Yeah.
that's such a hard
It's tough. Matt, this is totally out of your wheelhouse, so I'm excited. What is your topic, by the way?
My topic is
Or your poem title?
My poem title. I think I'm going with "From Good to Great." Trademark pending.
All right. All right.
Because that's not been taken before. So I did a limerick because I'm lazy.
A limerick.
Yeah.
Is that like a form of poetry?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a form of
What,
poetry.
how does that one work? Like, how does it?
It's the AABBA
Okay.
rhyming scheme.
Okay.
I make up my own schemes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
trademark pending.
I kind of just like went with whatever I thought sounded nice. So
you
that's
go.
what I
I
did.
got you. I went with like whatever was the easiest.
This is
poem
art,
stuff that I
man.
could pull
It's
off.
Yeah.
art. Don't let anybody put you
Yeah,
in a
yeah,
box.
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shoot your shot.
And
Be
express
yourself.
yourself.
I'm ashamed to say how long this took me to write because it's not that great.
He's like, all right, this is original.
all right, so now,
Roses are red.
now that I've sandbagged it enough, here we go. A lib wished to prove he was great, and he wanted to lift heavy weights. So he called himself She, won medals easy, and all magazines showed his face, her face, their face.
Dude, that's short and genius. I love it. I love it.
good.
I want you to post that online, okay?
Okay, all right,
So-
I can do that.
I don't really have a title for this one. I'm just going to call it Free Bread. And
I like it.
this is an ode to socialism. And I was
old socialism.
inspired. I was inspired by the likes of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Bernie Sanders and such,
Inspirational people.
Great.
who have been just ardent spokespeople for the great
Pillars of our community.
the great philosophy that is socialism. So
Yes.
here we go. I don't have high hopes, especially for the end, but hope you like it. Free bread, free cheese, free whatever you please. Free chicken, free steak, free children's birthday cake. I like free things both here and there. I like free college and Medicare. This socialism thing is great. It makes me want to celebrate by spending time on others' dime and blogging in my spare time. Sorry, I actually missaid that. By spending on others' dime and blogging with my spare time. Can't even read my own poetry. If all of the money and food runs out, we'll take to the streets and scream and shout. So take heart, my dear fellow. We're not trying to prank you. Everything will be awesome. Just ask Venezuela.
Nice.
I'm not pleased with the ending. But I couldn't think of anything that rhymes with Venezuela.
Nothing rhymes with Venezuela.
And I looked it up,
Bacon.
and Google said bacon. That would be actually awesome. We're not trying to sell you bacon. Everything will be awesome. Just ask Venezuela.
You know, I got to say, you guys wrote some really good poems.
Thank
I'm
you.
really
I
proud of
felt
you.
like that was a strong
Thanks, man.
showing from all of us.
Yeah, yeah.
Better than expected, probably.
Yeah.
So I don't. We decided on some names for ourselves. I don't know if we remember what our names are. I remember what my name is because I wrote it down.
Oh, the hippie name?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So
our-
like
our
your
poetry name?
your poetry hippie name.
Yeah. Our poetry pen names.
Oh yeah. Okay. What was yours again?
Mine was Zen Dreamcatcher. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Lancer's was Dakota Hash Pants.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dakota Hash Pants was mine.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yep.
I forget what mine was, but it started with, it was Sunny something.
Yeah. We got. What was the month you? What's
Sunny
your month birthday?
Sarsaparilla.
March.
March. So according to it, I got it pulled up over here.
Oh, my hippie name?
Yeah, I still have it up from our other day. You are Sunny Tangerine Dream. is what it-
Sunny Dreams.
Sunny Dreams.
I'm going with Sunny Dreams.
Okay.
So there you go. Yeah.
Sunny Tea Dreams.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So, all right. So our last segment of the day is kind of weird. We're gonna
I
call
got
it.
confused and I was like
Once again,
complaining about it.
Matt was like texting us. He had no idea what was going on. We're just gonna call this "Choose Your Own Ending." We've done this
Yeah.
once before. This time it's going to be a little bit different. Each of us are going to give each other a cataclysmic event, and we have to give a mode of transportation and a survival item that we would use in such cataclysmic event. We don't know the event, so this is right off the top of our head.
Right.
So the way that I've got this pinned out is, let's see here. Lancer, you're choosing an event for Matt. Matt, you're choosing an event for me, and I'll choose an event for Lancer. And you have to come up with what would be your consistent mode of transportation,
Right.
and if you can take one item with you, which is tough to narrow it down to
And this
one.
is
Only one
truly
thing.
shoot from the hip.
Just shoot from the hip.
Yeah.
No prep, no foreknowledge on this.
Now, each of us have also thought out what we would take. Just as
Yes,
a-
because we'll probably chime in and say this is
Yeah.
what I would take.
yeah.
I would say I would use the term loosely that we've thought this out because I really haven't. So, anyways,
yeah.
who wants to start us off?
Do you want me to go?
Go ahead,
for
Matt.
it.
So you're choosing for me?
Okay, you ready?
Not really.
All right, here we go. Robots turn on us all.
Oh, this is so me.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm totally ready for this.
Yep. Transportation.
Transportation. So I've got robots that are chasing me.
Yeah.
I'm guessing these are not like the Jetsons where they got wheels. This is just legs.
Yeah.
I'm just envisioning iRobot 100%
yeah,
here.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So, perfect mode of transportation. I'm going with a helicopter.
Okay.
I can take to the skies. I can just start blasting them. I can land it fairly easily in an
so
urban
you're going
environment.
with Apache right here.
Yeah, I'm bringing the heat. I'm going
like it.
helicopter on this, and I've
Yeah.
got good maneuverability with the helicopter.
It's gonna stink when they got anti-air on you.
Yeah,
Holy.
it's. I mean, like I said, it's robots. There's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
a lot of great
Right.
modes of transportation where they
true.
can't catch
Yeah,
you. So I'm going with Superman. I'm riding on his back. I'm gonna go with helicopter, and then one survival item. I feel like there's I'm not a techie person.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's like a tech item I should be saying right now that like helps shut down a robot. So could I say say an EMP?
See, I wasn't sure about that either because
wouldn't that,
I
like,
didn't
knock 'em
choose
out?
it. Well, yeah, I didn't choose it because I didn't know how like realistic that is.
Yeah, I kind of don't think it's realistic.
Yeah, well, and then you knock out whatever you're driving to.
So I'm, man, a personal
So
weapon.
I
I'm
had a
going.
workaround for it.
I'm going with the bow and arrow.
Okay. Yeah.
Silent.
Bow and arrow
In the
against
Apache
a robot.
helicopter.
Yeah,
Is it okay? So the bow and arrow is good for
it's personal.
like yeah.
That's over my back. I'm going
Yeah.
Katniss
But
Everdeen.
here's the thing: you also got to like hunt your food.
Yeah.
So there you go. You got your.
You know,
bow and
I
arrow.
got a weapon where you cannot detect where it's coming from.
right.
It's quiet, and
Unless
little
you-
known fact, like even Kevlar vests, there have been times where snipers have used bow and arrow, and police will not go into a place because a broadhead, a steel broadhead, will go right through a Kevlar
Yeah.
vest.
I can
Wow.
believe that.
And so I feel like I could probably little razor broadhead on there. I could probably like slit a robot right in the, I don't know,
Right in the
robot
heart.
artery.
Right in their circuits.
Yeah. I could cut some serious cords on that sucker.
Okay, so let me tell you what I.
Okay,
my
give me
thought
yours.
on this.
Lancer, you better be prepping over here.
I'm ready,
'cause-
man.
All right.
I'm
So
ready for you.
my long drawn out thought on this, which took me all of about 2 minutes, I thought a yacht for my transportation. So I'm going
Because
out
they're
in the
going to get
middle
you
of
either way, so you might as well have fun.
middle of the ocean where I'm hardest to find.
So
It-
robots
I'm-
can't swim.
Well, I mean, that's the kind of a question there too.
I don't think they can.
Do they have the swimmability?
They're too dense. Like they just sink.
That's what I was thinking.
Did Matt just become Tom Hanks in Castaway?
I was
on
thinking,
purpose?
I was thinking he became Kevin Costner in Waterworld.
There we go.
He's like, oh yeah, robots, you can have the world.
I got the water.
I got a boat.
But did you build the boat by hand yourself?
Well, if I had unlimited funds, absolutely.
Right. Okay. There you go.
All right,
Oh, man.
now, for my survival item, my workaround for the EMP, a high-powered taser.
Okay,
Oh,
Like
good,
just a
good
hardcore
idea.
taser.
I like that idea.
but okay, so
It-
I was gonna say a taser works by locking up nervous system. So actually, like the more muscle mass you have, the easier you are to bring down with a taser because it basically
Well,
it-
the taser puts in a strong
it puts in electric
into
current
whatever.
and it locks you up, right?
to a human.
Does that work on a robot?
Well,
I'm
what-
asking this seriously because I have no idea. Would that?
Well, I guess it depends on how the taser is implemented. Because if it's those little shock dart things that you're shooting from a taser, no, I don't
Yeah.
think that's
Well,
no
if the
good.
purpose is
No
to
good.
like
No.
basically to shock in a nervous system, and that's what a taser does is it locks up your muscles and everything.
right. But if you
With
can
that-
if you can shock on a metal piece of that robot, then it's gonna go through the circuitry and blow some circuits.
Yeah.
That's
like,
my thought.
Yeah. I see what you're. I see.
I
where you're going
totally
there.
screwed this up. I should have taken a lightsaber. I changed my pick.
Oh wow! What a great idea.
That's like basically the first like
'Cause
3 episodes of
EMP
Star Wars fighting robots
Because
with a lightsaber.
EMPs were not realistic enough, but
Yeah.
lightsabers are.
I'm taking a lightsaber. Change my pick. All right, Lancer,
All right.
what do you do?
All right, so I got to answer this one
Yeah.
also. Okay. All right. So if robots are coming at me, my mode of transportation would be mine rails. Like I would probably
Mine
take a
rails,
mine like a mine railroad into a cave, and go down in there because they won't detect you.
You're like a gopher.
Yeah, like
burrow down.
I'd go underground.
The under
The robots are
miner.
coming. Get in the minecart.
And if I have to
I
bring,
just imagine like the dwarves from Snow White. Hi ho, and Lancer's just like blending in with
just
them.
jumping in, And if I'm going to be down there, I'm going to need some lights. I guess I'll bring a flashlight with me. So and just starve to
We
death.
overthought
They'll
this.
be blinding these robots, burning their retinas out.
Right? Yeah, they'll never find me down there. Or even if they
man.
do, they're like, it's not worth it. Like the guy just has a flashlight. He's going to die anyway. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say you are gonna die down there.
Yeah, so I mean, but it'd be all right. Maybe I can spurlunk into a nice cave, and, like learn.
Did you just say spurlunk?
Yeah, spurlunk into a cave.
Spelunk.
Spelunk. Yeah, that.
Spurlunk is what you do when you spur a horse and you fall off.
No, in an apocalyptic, it's called
epitome of-
spurlunking. No, but I'll do that. Maybe catch some bats with my bare hands. And, eat them. I saw Bear Grylls do it once. So
No, you're totally missing the point. You're going to be Batman. You're going into a cave
Yeah.
with bats.
You're spurlunking.
You're
spelunk.
spelunking, and you're going to summon the power
Right.
of the bats against the robots.
that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah.
Oh, man.
So
That's-
I'll make the bats my friends.
That's
we'll
legit.
Fight the robots. There you go.
Okay.
You got my respect.
Yeah.
All right, so Lancer, you're choosing for Matt on this.
All right, so go.
Oh,
Lancer,
okay, so
you're
this is-
talking to me.
so okay, so
Give him
Matt.
the event.
So Matt,
That was confusing,
here's
yeah.
the situation that's going on. Okay,
Yes. Okay.
you are at home,
Okay.
sitting down watching TV,
Yep.
and you see that an asteroid is about to come and hit the Earth,
Okay.
Oh man.
All right.
and the whole world will be predicted to go into an ice age
Okay.
from this event.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you do?
Okay.
Grab a blanket.
Let's see. Asteroid's about to hit the
Grab
Earth.
my heater.
Did you say the whole world's gonna be destroyed? By
Yeah,
this
so
event?
it'll be like one of those, destroy all the dinosaur type things that
okay.
they talk
okay.
about. So.
But so bits of the Earth are gonna survive this.
Right, yeah.
Okay. So I'm attempting to survive as bits of the Earth.
Like an ice age. The whole world is going to be really cold,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
really
Okay.
fast.
So I'm going to find a some sort of burrowing equipment as far as my vehicle, so my transportation.
A
Okay.
minecart.
Minecart. See,
I wouldn't have thought the minecart
it's
would
very
get this much
useful.
love.
Well, I guess how much time do I have? Because
Okay.
if I'm burrowing through rock, that's
Right.
going to take some time.
right, yeah. I'll give you like they like this thing came out of nowhere and we're like, oh man, it's going to hit us in a week.
Lance,
In a week.
Matt's
I'll give
like,
you a week.
hey,
Gracious.
can I get a pet badger? Dig some burrows for me.
Well, what I'm thinking of is like the Atlantis, the animated Atlantis movie.
Okay.
Like the thing with the big corkscrew on the
Big drill.
front?
Yeah. That's what I need. I need to just start burrowing into the ground.
Literally, you have the Underminer's like vehicle that he comes out of the ground with at the end of The Incredibles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking. I want one of those
Okay.
so that I can get into the ground as quickly as possible.
Wait, are you
get
guys
deep.
both dwarves?
Yes.
Yeah, we want to live
It's like,
underground.
oh, cataclysmic event, we're going into the caves.
What rock did you live under? That one right over there.
All right. What do I need?
Wow.
What do I need for a survival item? Let's see. Survival item.
Oh, I got a clear one for you.
You can only grab one thing.
All right. I guess I'm wearing a hard hat
All right, you're going to be underground.
Terrible choice. So here's what you should have said.
with a headlamp, of course.
Of course. you gotta
Okay,
have
so
that.
I get this question too, right?
Yes,
I get to
yes,
say what I
yeah,
would do.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with my item first because I have no idea what I'm doing.
Sure.
So I'm gonna guess that most of like the plans of the known world, the the inventions, a lot of that stuff is gonna become obsolete or be destroyed. Maybe a lot of the patents and paperwork.
Yeah.
But I'm bringing a lighter because I can literally pull that thing apart, try to find materials, and reduplicate the mechanics of a lighter and
Okay.
sell it. I can
Yeah.
use it, but I could also, use it as a trade, reduplicate it and trade because it would be a barter system then, and try to trade it.
You're assuming survival at that point. So yeah.
Well, I mean, we
Yeah.
have to. We're gonna be like, I choose a coffin because I'm gonna die.
Well, it's not about assuming survival. It's about ensuring
Oh.
survival.
My mode of transportation, I choose the refrigerator that
Nice.
Harrison
The
Ford
Harrison
got
Ford,
into
yeah.
and survived an atomic blast.
Nice.
So, is that okay?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll count it. I mean,
I'm probably gonna be like blasted up into the air, but then I'm just gonna bust out of it and be like, all right,
Yeah.
I got my lighter,
Yeah.
ready to
we're
take on
good to go.
ready to take on the ice.
Make sure that it's lead lined.
Oh,
All right,
man.
since you guys are both going to totally die in that situation, let me explain to you how you will survive this, okay? The mode of transportation you're going to need is a submarine. You need to go
Okay.
underwater because when this happens, there's going to be tsunamis and
But don't those
earthquakes and stuff.
shock waves just nail you in the water?
Well, no, the thing is, like, if you're underwater and there's a huge wave coming through, it just kind of like, it's not a big deal.
I don't think that's how that works.
Now, if you're on the top of the water,
Yeah.
you're in trouble because there's waves coming and crashing.
What
on top
happens
of
when you run out of gas?
I mean, you just just
Die
swim
under the water.
but don't shock waves travel extremely fast through water?
Yeah, but like, I don't think it would hurt you if you're underwater.
Okay.
I think you'll just like move along with it, but
I think
it
you're
won't
wrong,
hurt
but
you.
we'll find out.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure you'll be all right. Like with
Yeah.
with the tsunami type wave that
Okay,
would come with this,
alright,
I think
alright.
you'd be fine.
We messed
Okay.
up.
Yeah.
We should have been Jonah. We should sacrifice ourselves to like
To
a
the
humpback
whale.
whale and just live in the belly till this thing passes.
Yeah, there you go. See,
There's gonna be fish.
so I think that's what you need for transportation, at least at the start. You know, maybe
Okay.
you can't
Yes,
use it for much
submarine.
longer.
Yep.
But yeah, as long as you can ensure you can get back to land.
Yep.
But as far as like your survival item that you're going
Yeah.
to need, you got to have a gun. You got to have a gun to hunt for a while and protect yourself. And
How
you,
am I gonna kill things in my submarine with my gun?
no, yeah, you get out eventually. Yeah, you like get on the
It's your
safety raft.
transportation, not
Yeah.
your
When we
living.
run
Yeah,
out of gas,
right.
I sink to the bottom of the ocean. Oh, dang!
just-
all I got's a
just
gun.
open
I
the
should have
door.
got an air tank.
Do like a 20,000 leagues under the sea.
So-
Have your spear gun.
Yeah. Oh, that thing was
So,
legit too.
but you got to have that because you got to hunt, and that will give you some time to build spears and shelter and stuff. So that's the way you're going to survive. So submarine
Yeah, yeah.
and gun.
I like that.
Okay, so who am I choosing for? Oh, I'm choosing for Lancer.
Yeah,
All right, so
really, you're choosing for Matt too. 'cause
I am choosing for
It's
Matt.
true.
So
I don't know why. But
I have
like,
two in
this
case-
totally got.
I have two in case somebody took one. But here's where we're going. We're going complete power grid failure. So,
Okay.
power grid goes completely down. So no lights, no access to GPS, satellite, cell phones, banks don't work.
okay,
There's no transacting that can take place. There's no. I think I said this. There's no telephones. There's no podcasts. So sorry, hipsters.
oh no,
what?
that's
That's
the worst.
that's the worst
Yeah,
part of this is you
man.
can't at least plug in the tunes.
We'll have to shout it.
Everything's down, so there's no guarantee of when it'll go. So you can't buy gas,
okay,
pump. There's nothing to pump. You can't
Yeah.
turn the pump on.
right.
What do you do?
All right, so I need a mode of transportation
Yep.
and a survival item.
Yes.
All right, so in this situation, this isn't one of those situations where like everyone's just going to die, because like
People will die though.
people will die, but
Not everyone.
people lived without electricity for a long time, so it's definitely a game changer. So my mode of transportation in this situation would definitely be a horse.
Correct.
You've
Yep.
got to have a horse for
Yep.
this. You can feed it, you can grow your food, whatever. Gets around, loyal.
Eat it.
Eat it if you need to. But like my one survival,
Make a lot of
item-
glue.
My one survival item with this, oh man, that's a really good one. Now I think I don't know how to put this into one item, but I feel like medical supplies would be the most important thing.
Okay.
So, but I can't put like my thing on one particular medical supply.
Needles.
Needles or like a dentist chair or something. like I don't know what that medical supply would be.
Give me a scalpel.
But you know what? You give me like a
How about Band-Aids?
Band-Aid factory or something. I don't know.
Band-Aid factory. I
Hey,
think you're
you get
branching
one
out from
item.
the survival item.
Right,
He's
right.
like,
the
give me a
item,
bag of gauze.
you know. Oh man, you know what?
It's the item is the hardest part on this. I
Right,
feel like the
it is,
horse
totally
is pretty easy.
Yeah, the horse is what you got to have for that.
I don't know. I feel
personally,
like
I would go with a buffalo.
Okay, all right.
Tastes better than a horse,
Yeah, all
and
right.
it's a little more intimidating.
now
Yeah.
maybe there could be an argument made for like a mountain bike.
Yeah, mountain bike
instead,
would be good.
because then you don't have issue with injury or something like that. So that's the only thing that I'm like, maybe
Dude,
a mountain bike.
if there's a power grid failure, Lance Armstrong's taking over the world
Man,
because
Well,
he could get around faster than everybody.
But he's more of a road bike guy. Does he do mountain biking
I
too?
don't know.
Probably.
I'm sure he
once.
could still pedal.
Who's gonna catch him even on the roads though?
Well, here's
Yeah.
the downside with the bike though: is you got to use your own power.
Yes.
And the horse is using,
Yeah.
so you don't want to
No,
use
you're
your own
right.
power.
It's like a sustainable energy, and I
Right.
mean, there's nothing that's gonna happen to the grass. So
right.
that's pretty much all you need.
Not for a power grid failure, yeah. So as far as a survival item, I feel like I hate to feed off of yours, but I'd take a bow.
Yeah.
I mean, you have the hunting ability with that, and it's just too many opportunities with a bow.
Okay, yeah.
It's also a defensive weapon.
The bow is such an underrated piece of equipment.
Yeah.
As a archer myself, I love the bow. I hunt with a bow. It's super fun to shoot.
Yeah.
If you're good, you can reuse your ammo.
Yeah.
Whereas with a gun, it's something that you'd love to have one,
Right.
But once
When-
you're out of ammo, you're out of ammo. If there's a power grid failure, it's going to be hard to get factories up and going and stuff to make, unless you're used to literally making your own.
Well,
you know,
yeah, and if
ammunition.
you're in a serious pinch, you can make arrows
Yep.
on the fly. You can't make too many bullets.
Correct.
You have to have the right stuff to do it.
Exactly. There's a lot of equipment. It's
Yeah.
not something you can pack up. And you
Now,
got to
that,
think.
that might be my future thing that I work on, but that's not something
Yeah.
I want immediately.
It's something too where, like, if you're in an urban environment, you're going to have to get away more than likely. If you're
Mhm.
trying to just sustain, you're going to have to get away from everybody and everything because
Yeah.
it's just going to break into. It's just going to be no rule of law, completely out there,
utter chaos.
utter
Yeah.
chaos. And so I do think that there's no guarantee as to when this is going to come up, like when the power grid is going to come up.
Yeah.
So you're looking like long term. I probably would try to ride a buffalo.
Ride a buffalo.
I would start. I don't know if you've seen the guy on the buffalo videos, but
Is his name Buffalo Bill?
nope.
Ooh,
Okay.
that's a different. That guy did different stuff.
Yep. But
Like Ted Bundy?
yeah.
Yes,
So
there you- Ted Bundy again.
man, he's like an honorary member of the show.
Yeah.
Oh, let's
So
not.
I don't actually know on the. I think you got to take a weapon, right?
I feel
Are we
like
all
you
in
do.
agreement on that?
I mean, yeah, a weapon would be good.
Like a survival knife or something like
You know,
that.
I think I'm going with a knife.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple of things you can do with a knife. It's way more useful as a tool in the hand than a bow, even though I'm a bow guy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of survival uses. I mean, a knife, a good sturdy like fixed blade knife, you can make it into a spear,
yeah.
and you can end up you can set snares with it. Just the ability to you can self defend with it.
Yep.
It's got a lot. I mean, it's probably the most versatile weapon we have.
Right.
Is a good nice knife.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna take that.
Mhm.
And just figure hey, work for Davy Crockett, gonna work for me. So I don't know. That's probably what I'm going with. But
Yeah.
it's one of those things where
It's a good pick.
like to Lancer's point about the medical supplies. I don't think the medical supplies would be what I would choose, but like if you had like a field manual on surviving,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
like that might be something to take because
Right.
you're gonna have constant knowledge with you of scenarios and plants to eat, and
Right.
like it would be really really helpful.
Yeah.
I guess organic ways to treat disease and stuff like that.
I just thought of my perfect thing in that scenario. You're going to need plant seeds to grow your own crops at that point. And you can also use
Don't
that
bring
to...
those with you though, because you can get those in nature
Yeah,
somewhere,
you're right. You're right. Yeah,
It's
so
just the power's going
you
down.
got to find them. Yeah,
See, that's
so-
why I didn't even think the book too, because if you have a way to protect yourself, if you can get to a library, you can steal a book,
Yeah.
right, and take it with you, and be like, okay, I got a couple of field manuals, one on basically sustainable living,
Right.
Yeah.
and one on survival medicine.
I'd be kind of cool with that thing actually happening.
You know what would be
That
the
scenario.
Let's do it.
You
I'm
know what
cool
would be
with
the
it.
number one thing that you would want to do, like as soon as that happened? Find somewhere away from everyone else.
Correct.
Yes.
You need
It
to get
would
away
be-
from population.
Yeah, immediate move out of like the Atlanta area. Like you're gone.
Yeah.
Get out of there.
You would have to have some way. Probably have to develop a skill. Honestly, if this is kind of sound dumb, but if the power just dies, it's not like everything is gone into earth shattering. This is actually something that could happen, even though
Yeah.
it's catastrophic.
Yeah.
But it's not like the plants and the animals die. Like if you're a good fisherman and you're like my one item, and I'm taking my fishing set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that is kind of smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to eat pretty much every day as long as you know what you're doing. That's why the bow is really tempting for me too. But
Yeah.
I don't feel like repeating the same thing you took. But I
Yeah.
do hunt with a bow,
Yeah.
so I feel like you could kind of adapt with it. You can definitely use it in self defense. It's not ideal, but you can definitely use it.
Right.
It works very good because you can kill from distance rather than a knife, whereas
Right.
you're right up close with somebody.
Yeah.
But it's way more effective for killing game,
Yeah.
which is going to be essential to eating.
Right.
So yeah, like I feel like you steal a good book on how to survive from a
Yeah.
library, and then you just jump on your horse and tally ho, man.
Right. Sounds like a nice, simple life, honestly. At that point, riding a horse, reading books.
Lancer's like, yeah, I could kind of go with
I could
no
actually
money and
dig this world that we're talking about.
I feel like we're
right
gonna
now.
have a new sponsor for like
Red Dead
survival
Redemption.
food. your bomb shelter food.
yes, Patriot Supply.
Yeah, there you go.
Get 5 years of freeze dried food for you and your family today.
I've never been a big.
You've never been a big like bug out person?
No.
I love thinking about bug outs.
Oh,
man.
dude, bug out is. You want to have a bug out podcast right now?
Yeah, let's do a bug out
Bug
podcast.
out podcast.
Let's go for it.
All right.
Where are you going? You have one take a guess. Where are you going?
Can't tell you.
Okay, good choice.
No, really, the thing to do is you flee the urban area.
Yeah.
You go up in the mountains somewhere, try to take the high ground, find a vacation home, smash a window, take over.
Yeah. Near clean water.
Yep.
Which is why you want to be high up so you don't get
Which
the
is why you
pollution
also
from
have a
everyone.
map.
Yes.
Have a map.
Yeah.
Man needs a good map.
Learn how to use maps.
Yep.
Yep.
MapQuest.
Yep.
Nope, not that.
Not that one. That's
But
gone.
anyways, so yeah,
No
have
GPS
a map.
anymore.
But
Man.
yeah, I'm all about it. Didn't we talk about that?
Yeah.
No GPS?
I'm the map guy.
This is the time where you have no GPS and no credit or debit card.
Was that
Yeah.
on the Lost episode? I don't mean to bring up my failures, but
Was it on the Lost episode?
there was a Lost episode where we talked about some pretty cool
The
stuff.
one that got away. It was a great episode too.
It was.
I don't think it was. I think it was earlier than the Lost episode. I think. Because
I think so too.
We were talking
Maybe, okay.
about whether or not it was.
was a
I think
would
it was
you
a would
rather.
you rather, and it was if you would rather not be able to use GPS
or not be able to
Use
use
your-
online banking or something like that.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, but this one reminded me of the Lost episode because we talked about robots and should they kill you
Oh,
and stuff.
that was on
Yeah.
the Lost episode.
Yeah.
Was
so-
that the?
Yeah.
Holy moly!
Oh, by the way, another really great item is like a ferro
Oh, by the
rod.
way, Lancer stinks.
We all know that.
Uh,
The ability to like hit a fire striker and start fire, you can boil water, then you can
Oh,
purify
yeah.
water, you can
Yeah.
cook something,
Awesome.
you can heat yourself.
Yeah, what, you talking about one of those?
Just a little ferro, yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little striker.
yeah, those two.
You can just you get some dry tinder together.
Yeah, I was
Strike
thinking
that
of
thing.
those. What are those little starters called? The ones that you squeeze
A
together.
lighter.
No, you squeeze them together and it strikes
oh
the little
yeah,
flint.
you like use them
Yeah,
on
like a flint and steel sort of thing.
Yeah,
You use them like
But
for
it's a little cup
beakers.
thing.
Beakers in the science lab is
Yes.
what we use them for. So,
Oh yeah, the little thing you squeeze together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, they're little
Or
starters.
not
It's
beakers, but
it's basically like a flint.
Bunsen burner.
yeah. I
But
forget what it's called. but
Same
yeah.
principle, but they'll
I
have.
always love those. My dad had one, and so I would just sit there and play with it.
Yeah.
It's basically you're just creating a spark,
Yeah.
but they'll sell them like a magnesium rod where you can actually like shave a little bit of the magnesium
Yeah,
and hit it, and that magnesium burns really bright.
Nice.
Life hack, because I do hunt and I've spent some time in the woods, not a lot, but you know what really works if you're not able to start a fire and you just looking, what do I have in my pockets? For me, I always carry chapstick in my pocket. 'Cause
Okay.
I have it with me every day. It's Vaseline based.
Yeah.
Which people say is, oh, it's not good for your lips.
Petroleum,
Great
you
for
said?
starting fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, petroleum based. Sorry.
yeah.
Very similar. Vaseline is petroleum based.
Right,
That's what I
right.
meant.
Yeah.
Take something and take your chapstick and rub it all over it, light it on fire, and it'll burn for like 2 minutes straight.
Nice.
So,
So-
works really well.
Yeah.
The other thing, and this is probably a pretty well known but pretty classic fire starter, and that's you take a knife and you just scrape your pants,
Yeah,
And
get
you
some of that dry
get that lint,
lint.
and you
Good
can
idea.
light that pretty good.
Yeah, totally. And so, anyways, I feel like we got this. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
Yeah.
Out of the whole robot thing, I feel like I kind of beat you guys because Matt's like, I'm going isolationist. I'm just gonna go live in the middle of the ocean. I don't know how that's gonna work. Lancer's literally becoming a dwarf.
Wow, I'm living underground, man. Bats on my side.
Lancer just became Bat. I'm not sure how that counts. Lancer's like, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm Batman.
I'll just be Batman.
I take the tumbler and give me the ninja stars.
Well, as we all know, if you could be anything,
Be Batman.
Be
Be Batman.
That's
all
true.
right. Well, thank you once again for listening to the Shoot from the Hip podcast. We really appreciate you guys listening in. As always, you can find us on pretty much any place that you can find podcasts, except for, iHeartRadio.
That place.
Yes.
I don't even want to say it.
The other place, he that will not be named. Also, you can find us on Twitter at Hipshot Podcast. Be sure to follow us over there, and we'll have some stuff that you can vote on. We'll have last week's draft. Make sure that you go ahead and vote on that if you haven't yet. If it's still available, I think it'll be available for a little bit of time. But make sure that you go vote over there. Also, follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/shootfromthehip podcast. And remember that when you follow us and you've liked our page, take a screenshot of it and direct message it to us. And then also direct message us your address, and we will send you a personalized postcard. And we're doing that for the first 50 that like it. So we're not going to do this for forever, but be sure to go ahead and do that. It is a limited time thing. It's going to be super special.
Cutting it off soon.
Act now, and for $19.95 extra, you can get a set of steak knives.
It is free. All right, but then also you can follow us over at Hip Shot Podcast on Instagram. So make sure you follow us over there, and we'll post something occasionally. And so be sure to follow us on each of those social medias, whatever is your favorite. Thank you once again for listening to the Shoot from the Hip podcast. I hope you have a fantastic day.